All right, we are live. Welcome to my one viewer, and welcome to everybody who's going to come to the show. It's another Monday night chill stream, and now October. What was it, October 18th or 19th? I don't even know what day it is. What day is it? October 18th. And we're actually chilly. It's actually the weather went here in the East Coast. It was like 80 plus for a bunch of days, like a very long time in October. And then now it just dropped into the 60s, like sort of where it's supposed to be. So, Tweety Bird, hello, Tweety Bird. Welcome to the show. So, it's been a weird week. Saturday for me, there was no work. I called up at my regular time and I drove up towards Teterboro Airport and I hung out there. And I spent about 10 hours sitting in my car waiting for the phone to ring, and the phone never rang. So, Tweety Bird in the chat. I had to turn on the heat tonight. Yeah, I actually like this cooler weather. It helps me sleep. I enjoy that more than warm weather. But yeah, this is summer's over and autumn has most definitely begun. So Saturday I did like no work, and for me, no work means no money. And then Sunday, my dispatcher called me up. He's like, listen, I'm trying to get you something, blah, 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 blah. He says, like, there's 2 jobs up in Nyack, New York, that they're coming back to Queens. Do you want that? He says, that's all I got. He says, I'm leaving early. And from where I live, Nyack, New York is like 70 miles, 70 miles one way. And I'm like, okay, I got to drive 70 miles, pay tolls all the way up there, and then drive into the city. Do I want to do this? I said, you know what? Let me forget about that. I'll skip that. So I passed up on that job. I refused that job. And then like 30 minutes later, he calls me up and says, listen, pick up in New Providence, New Jersey, going to Virginia Beach. So that's a human heart going down to a place called LifeNet in Virginia Beach. And so that's a good job. So I took that. So I left my apartment at about noonish and got home at about 2:00 in the morning the next day. So like a 14-hour day. Pick up the human heart, drive down to Virginia Beach, drop it off and come back. So it's like 30 miles to the pickup point. From the pickup point to the delivery point is like 345 miles, and that's about 325 miles home. So like a 700-mile day. Did I really want to do that? No. But I did zero work and made $0 a day before. So, when they say, here's a job where you got to work 14 hours straight, do you want to do it? You say, yeah, I'll do it. So that's, that's the way my life goes. And so it's the sort of thing that it rubs on me a lot when I see what different people who don't actually have to do anything, they're under no pressure, and then they never have to perform. The things that they say are important, and the things that they think are important are, at best, they're comic, but most often they're worthy of every sort of derision, every sort of just fucking disrespect and derision, because you accomplish nothing, whether it's a complex task or a simple task, whether it's a task that requires a lot of technology or no technology. You do nothing all day except think about how you can fix the entire world, by just waving your hand. And you imagine you've done that if only everyone would listen to you. And no one listens to you, of course, because you're a jerk off. No one talks to you that way, but listen to me, you're a jerk off. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And what's happening now across the globe, across America, all the economy is crashing, the vax mandates, all this stuff. You have essentially the grandchildren of the Bolshevik revolutionaries in charge of America's economy and the world economy, and they're doing what their grandparents did. You know what I mean? Except this is not 1917 agrarian, Russian economy. This is the beating heart of the global economy, and it's all 21st century, and it's all high tech. And you can't fire airline pilots and expect the airplanes to fly. You know what I mean? Like Southwest Airlines canceled 2,100 or 2,400 flights because it was a vax strike. It was other things, but part of it was a vax mandate. And they're like, you can't just say, fuck you, we'll get someone else to fly the airplane, because that's not how reality works. But the people at the tippy top are not connected to reality. They live in their delusional dream world, which they can afford, which the rest of us cannot afford. And so if you're going to think about the future and what the future is going to look like, you have to be reality based. You have to drop your ideology, because it's going to hinder you and not help you. So where are we at? I titled the stream. What's the title of the stream? Down here, I titled it Holocaust, right? By the way, I did drink a little bit before I started the show, but I over fucking exercised and I'm too tired. I should have not. I try to do too much on my day off. Anyway, title of the stream is Holocaust. What do I think the Holocaust is? The Holocaust, the 21st century Holocaust, which is coming, which is happening right now, is Bitcoin. All right. Bitcoin is a digital fire that's going to burn all of the fiat currencies of the entire globe. Okay. It's going to burn the US dollar, the ruble, the yen, the pound, all of it. Okay. All of these central bank controlled, human corruption controlled currencies are going to fall. And when I say fall, I don't mean just fall. I mean get destroyed relative to Bitcoin. 1 week ago last year, I got scammed out of 5.86 Bitcoin. Everybody tells me stop crying about that, but nobody who tells me stop crying about that has ever lost $350,000 got robbed of $350K in their life. That's never happened to you, but you tell me to get over it. Okay, I'll get over it. So, but I bought right back in immediately when Bitcoin was $10,000, $11,000 last year. What is the price of Bitcoin today? As of this show, it is $61,800, right? So it's about a 450% increase from where it was last year. So if we stay at this level, October 2022 is going to be what? 4 times 660 is going to be what? $250,000 Bitcoin, and you're sitting there. Tweety Bird, how did that happen? If you don't mind me asking, I've told the story a couple of times. Google puts live streams that are not live streams, that are pre-recorded live streams right into your feed. And it's a hacker live stream, right? So it comes into the bottom of your YouTube feed. And it happened to be a live stream of something that happened just recently at the time. In October, the Winklevoss twins, the guys who run the Gemini Exchange, did a 3-hour talk somewhere. And somebody rebroadcast it. It was a channel with a live chat underneath that was not live chat. It was all bots, and then in that was like, hey, you know what? Send us your Bitcoin. We'll send you back double. And you think that's the dumbest fucking thing ever. But the Winklevoss twins are the only guys probably with integrity in the fucking entire Bitcoin space. And I got conned by that, and I got scammed out of 5.86 Bitcoin. And people will tell you it's because there's a little Russian guy smoking fucking shitty Galois cigarettes in a fucking St. Petersburg basement, and he's a super hacker from Eastern Europe or whatever. But it's bullshit because Google is super fucking secure. Nobody can go into Google, manipulate the algorithm, and put the exact perfect fucking live stream right in front of you at the fucking right time so that, you get scammed. It's the most ridiculous scam. But once it gets in your head, all the problems are not in the software. It's not in the hardware. The problems are in here. Tweety Bird, sorry that happened to you. Not as sorry as I am. Not as sorry as I am. I did the math last week. I think I'm out at this point, $350,000, right? That's in a year. At the time, I tweeted that I lost millions, and people thought, "Oh, you're being hysterical. You're being dramatic. You're trying to get attention." No, I'm not. I understand what's coming, and you don't understand what's coming. Okay, I'm not fucking just being a dick saying Bitcoin is the Holocaust to fiat currencies. I'm not being a jerk off about this. This is 100% what I believe. Okay, this is a mathematical certainty. I understand human corruption better than most people. And I understand math, well, at least as good as most people. Okay. And Bitcoin is controlled by math and software. And it's up against human corruption. And I know which one's going to fucking win. Okay. You don't know. The reason why I bought literally and I felt so out of control. I felt like my fucking skull was going to pop. Once, I realized, literally, it's one of those, you get conned, you can't get it back. And literally that fucking fast, I'm like, holy fucking shit, what did I do? Within an hour, I looked at my current checking account balance and I said, how much Bitcoin can I buy? I bought Bitcoin within an hour of that. I realized I've been fucked, and fucked as bad as I've ever been fucked in my entire life. But I also, the great thing about my life, and I didn't think about this as growing up, but I had a mentally ill parent. I was in an orphanage, blah, 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 blah. I had a couple of hard knocks. But one of the things about having everything ripped away from you and there's nothing you can do about it, one of the great things about that is potentially, you have the ability to recover faster, right? You have the ability to, you don't have time to be emotional. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody gives a shit if you're crying in the middle of a room. They're just going to fucking victimize you even harder, right? So you stop that and you have to get on with what you need to do. And once I realized I was fucked, I was like, shit, I got to get back into this as deep as I could. And I've told the story before. I emptied my checking account. I had some cash in this closet behind me, took it to the ATM the next day, dumped it in the ATM, like emergency money. And as soon as the machine was done swallowing the bills, boom, smashed the buy button again. I used to own 6 guns. I now only own 3 guns. I sold 3 of my fucking guns. As soon as I got that fucking check, boom, deposited it online, and smashed the buy button again. And I got back in as fast as I could. So I got back in to Bitcoin between 10 and 13,000 last year. So how well did I do, right? And every month I had borrowed money from my bank. I didn't borrow enough. I should have borrowed more, but I borrowed money from my bank, a personal loan, and I bought Bitcoin with that, right? So I pay my rent and then I pay this loan payment. You know what I mean? So I bought Bitcoin at 13,700 from my bank loan, and it's currently sitting at $61,000. Was I right or was I wrong? You know what I mean? The difference between me and the phony fucking leaders of the fucking dissident right, the Richard Spencers, the fucking Nick Fuentes, all these fucking artificially fucking famous jerk-offs, is that I have fucked up. I've been fucking wrong I've been wrong a dozen times, but I'm mostly right on the big things. And I'm the only one who fixes my own fucking problems. So this makes me, when you talk about you and I are not the same, you and I are not the fucking same. Believe me when I fucking tell you. So no one's going to come fucking rescue me. No one's going to pay my fucking rent. No one's going to go to work for me. I have to do this all myself. And when you have to do it, it changes your worldview, how you fucking act, how you behave, what you feel in ways most people can't imagine. Since you're not at the lower end of the economic spectrum and you haven't had difficult circumstances growing up, you probably don't understand that from a practical point of view, right? Other people do. There's people that have 10 times worse than me. I'm not saying cry for me. This is not a pity party. I'm not asking for sympathy. But my point is, you need to adapt. This is a great segue. There's an axiom that's supposed to be a military axiom. Whomever adapts to change fastest wins. Whoever adapts to change fastest, not notices to change fastest, not criticizes to change fastest. Whoever adapts to change fastest wins. This is axiomatic in any sort of struggle. So once I understood my change of status from I'm secure to fucking I got robbed blind by the stupidest fucking scam on the fucking internet. Like, okay, you can cry about that, you can get emotional about that, or you can fucking boom, you can flip that fucking switch and adapt to your new circumstance. And what do I have to do next? So if you can't do that, you're not going to make it. Okay. Whenever there's going to be pressure, like right now, people think, I don't know who the fuck thinks they're under pressure, but wait till real pressure comes. And I'm telling you, wait till real pressure comes. If you think this is bad, you haven't fucking seen a fucking thing yet. You have not seen a fucking thing yet. I talk about hyperinflation all the time. I talk about the breakdown of fucking law and order, all the madness you see in social media, all these videos on Twitter of what was it? It was just a shootout in Houston at an Arby's because a bunch of dindus that work inside the Arby's or maybe they weren't dindus, I don't know, got the takeout order of the dindus in the drive-thru wrong, so there was a shootout in the fucking supermarket and in the parking lot of the fucking Arby's. You know what I mean? There was every Friday at some mall somewhere, some dindu shooting the fucking place up. You know what I mean? Like it's nonstop. all of these retail places are going to close down. Everything is going to go to super Amazon. People go, we have to starve Jeff Bezos. We have to like not buy shit from him. Oh yeah, you got to go to the fucking mall where fucking Jamal the pot smoking Rasta is going to fucking, because he's pissed that his hoe is knocking boots with some other fucking gangster, you know what I mean? And he's going to decide to shoot up the whole fucking shopping mall because of it. You're not going back there. You're not going when you're out with your wife and your kids. You're not fucking doing that. You're like, okay, we're never going to the mall again. Click, 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 click. Amazon.com. Okay, this is the way it's going to go. Everyone's going to quietly make this decision. Like, okay, we're not going out. We're just going to go on the computer and we're going to order whatever the fuck it is. Is everybody going to track that? Yes. Is everyone going to fucking know your credit score and your carbon this and your carbon that? Absolutely, that's going to happen. But your alternative is to go into a fucking shootout, right? When you're not prepared. You're not a shootout guy, right? You don't have body armor. You're not a shootout guy. Your wife doesn't have body armor. Like, why would you bring your kids there? This is the future looks darker and darker, and you need to prepare for that correctly. And most people aren't doing that. Tweety Bird is in the chat. My sister was at the mall a month ago, and there were 5 guys involved in the shootout. Yeah, I'm not sure what mall that was, but it's more and more and more common. It's interestingly, this November 3rd, the Supreme Court is going to hear a very important Second Amendment case that may change things dramatically. There may be an enormous change one way or the other coming in early November. There's I've mentioned this before. It's a New York State Second Amendment case from decades ago where a New York State resident wanted a concealed carry permit for a pistol, and he was told he had a special need. He didn't have a special need, self-defense being insufficient in the state of New York. And he challenged that, and it's gone through level after level after level, blah, 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 blah. It's landed in the Supreme Court. They're going to hear it in like 2-3 weeks. Depending on their interpretation of that, it could radically change concealed carry laws throughout America. Now, that doesn't mean you can, if things go the way of the Constitution, doesn't mean you can just go start blasting anybody who you fucking feel like blasting. But for people who are aware of what the real threats are and are willing to take the steps to defend themselves, this gives them some legal ground to stand on if you do it right. But you need to understand the laws of the state you're in. You need to be correct in a lot of ways. But at least there may be a situation where if you're at the mall and Jamal the crazy Dindu is pissed off that Shaniqua is banging another dude, whether Shaniqua or the white girl virtue signaling that she wants a race mix to fucking make world peace or whatever the fuck. If things go fucking sideways, if things go really pear-shaped and you can't escape and you can't talk your way out of it, and you might be able to actually defend yourself. Is that going to help you in court? Is that going to help you in prison? Well, we ain't that far down the road yet, but it would make things suck just a little bit less for some people, again, who would choose to take matters into their own hands, assuming, of course, it was legal to do so. We'll have to see. We shall have to see. I don't know yet. But there's a lot of things in terms of narratives that go on with that are very messed up. Here's a great screen share, right? Let's see this. Yeah, it's up there. What's going to happen once things fall apart enough is that we're going to have autonomous zones. Like that stuff from Portland or Seattle, that Jazz and Chop thing. You remember where there was like these those dopey communists? They put up walls and started walking around with AR-15s, and they shot a black kid, I think, and they were shaking down. What is this? Why is this not coming up? This should be coming up. Why is my Screen share, not screen sharing. Come on, you. So the whole idea of these autonomous zones, right? This is what every right winger says, like, oh, we want autonomy. We want to um, we want to live in a way where we're not subject to Jewish elite power, to all this sort of stuff. And this is what they imagine the future is going to be like, right? You're going to have an autonomous zone where you're going to be able to run around in your underwear and play your guitar and drink beer and have boxes of donuts and stuff. And it's going to be, your own autonomous zone. Well, this stuff is really going to happen. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but when you look at all these videos, like these body cam videos where the cops do something stupid, like they've already got a black guy in handcuffs and then they kick him in the face. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you kick a white person in the face, but if you kick a black dude in the face, it's going to cost the city $25 or $50 million. In New York City, there was some years ago, there was a guy named Eric Garner on Staten Island near the Park Hill projects where the Wu-Tang Clan was from, who supposedly had 6 kids, and he was supporting his 6 children by selling loose cigarettes, what are called loosies, on the streets. Selling loosies on the streets, and the police, that's illegal. So the NYPD decided to arrest him. He resisted. He's a big dude, and they wrestled to the ground, and he said he couldn't breathe, and he ended up dying of a heart attack. Now, he had diabetes. He was morbidly obese. There was all kinds of problems. And by the way, Eric Garner had been arrested 31 times before. Well, the city, of course, immediately fucking, went out of their mind to try and prosecute some of these cops. But it's a bit of a problem because the supervisor on scene was a black female who gave the order. It's all fucked up. But the city paid out, I don't know, like $12 or $14 million to Eric Garner's mother, and to like $2 million to every baby mama that he had. And then you would think the whole thing sort of went away, but Eric Garner's mother apparently is broke again, so she's complaining about something. So this sort of stuff is going to happen again and again, and more and more and more. It's George Floyd on steroids. It's the ghetto lottery. Government agents are going to come into high crime zones. They're going to come into contact with blacks who do not want to comply at all. Sooner or later, this shit's going to go sideways enough that the city will not be able to pay for these lawsuits anymore. And then things are going to get really, really interesting. But until then, you're going to have to deal with all this fake outrage and these lawsuits and these tens of million dollars of lawsuits. And that's going to go round and around the country until it burns itself out. But this sort of thing, this imaginary enclave or secure area where people you don't want are kept out, this is going to happen, but it's not going to be cartoon frogs in a public park near a little patch of grass. It's going to look a hell of a lot more high tech. There's going to be walls. There's going to be electronic doors. There's going to be magnetic door swipes and stuff like that. And the cost of security is going to be a lot of autonomy. You're going to have a lot less autonomy. So maybe you got some cool, groovy black friend or whatever, and you want to bring them to whatever cool restaurant you go to, but that restaurant doesn't want black people there. You might be able to bring them in one time, but somewhere, this is going to be recorded digitally that you brought somebody that was undesirable to that restaurant, and then boom, next time you go with your little digital lock to get into the fucking place where the restaurant is, declined. And all the premises for this are already being set up now. When Facebook deletes your post because they're a private company and the First Amendment doesn't apply to them, and Google doesn't show a search result because they're a private company and they're against hate speech, and you have a whatever, anti-LGBT, whatever the fuck website, and Google ranks it the 1,000th search result, not the top search result, right? It's a private company. BlackRock, that's my understanding. I don't know if it's, but this is what I've read. BlackRock Properties, right? The private equity company buys up enormous tracts of housing, like 1,000 houses at once, and then they rent them out as single family rentals. And in the rental agreement, you're not allowed to keep firearms in the property, even in places like Texas, right? So they're saying it's a private company. You want to rent from us, you can't have guns in the house, right? So you have to give up your constitutional rights in order to live in BlackRock housing. Is anybody really reading that fine detail? No. Would it stand up in court? Maybe not. But in order for you to fight it, would be very costly. And the fact that you violated their rental agreement when you moved in and you had a firearm for personal protection, and that ever came to the attention of management, they could just make you homeless, right? Whenever they wanted, because hey, it's a private company, they can do whatever they want, right? All this, the legal precedents for a lot of this is being set up now that other groups will be able to take advantage of in the future, but you don't want to be on the fucking wrong end of this, okay? You really don't want to be on the wrong end of this, because the narrative is like fucking insane. The narrative is so fucking insane. It's like, it's impossible for me to imagine. All right. What I want to talk about. Blah, 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 blah. I got so many, literally hundreds and dozens of things. I got so many things I clicked. I meant to talk about this last week, but I was kind of waiting to hear. I'm looking at a lot of social media, hoping to hear some good commentary. But this was the super fight, the boxing match between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, who people online are calling Beyonce Wilder. Here is a still photograph taken from the fight. This is from round 11. Okay. So this kind of photo is like a very samizdat photo. This is you're not allowed to do this, right? In this fight, this was the third fight of 3 fights between the white guy, Tyson Fury, and the black guy, Deontay Wilder. And this was, it was hyped up to be the super fight of super fights, and it was a great boxing match, by the way. But it was phenomenally one-sided. The white guy, Tyson Fury, completely dominated from start to finish. But this photo is just before the knockout, okay? And I'll show you the actual knockout photo, which I think ranks up there with the with that famous Muhammad Ali Sonny Liston photo. There's that famous black and white photo of Sonny Liston laid out on the canvas and Muhammad Ali standing above him. It's a black and white photo. So really iconic. Very iconic boxing photo, right? Let's do this. I have to realize how I am wasting remanaging my limit, but this doesn't seem to be. Here we go. All right. This is the photo I'm talking about. This is, in my mind, at least as iconic as the Muhammad Ali Sonny Liston photo. This is 1 minute and 10 seconds into the 11th round. And this tells the story of the entire fight. If this doesn't look like, again, this is the most anti-narrative photo, Remember, blacks are our physical superiors, our intellectual superiors, our moral superiors. They are superior to us in every way. And not only does Deontay Wilder, who looks like he was purpose built to be heavyweight champion of the world, not only did he lose to a white guy, but he lost to a white guy with the dad bod of dad bods, a bald white guy with almost with a freaking pot belly. So this is after the whatever a series of blows in the 11th round at 1 minute and 10 seconds in the 11th round, and before it's like at this point the referee actually calls the fight. The referee's like he's not even going to count out Wilder. He's not even going to count. You know what I mean? This is it. This guy's done. He's been beaten probably to brain damage. And the thing about this fight, and I waited a while to talk about it because I wanted to hear the commentary. I listened to everybody's commentary, and like you cannot, if you're an honest person, you can't listen to the commentary because, well, it's customary in a big battle like this to acknowledge that the loser had ferocious heart and stuck in there till the last minute, and didn't give up. It's common to make this sort of cursory or I don't know how would you like just kind of the standard respectful remarks of, wow, the challenger really tried hard, but now let's praise the winner. But if you listen to any commentary about Fury Wilder 3, all you hear is people praising Wilder. Like you have never heard so much praise for the loser of a boxing match in your entire life. If somebody talks about it for 12 minutes, 11 minutes and 30 seconds of what they're saying is praising Wilder. And I've never heard a loser of a boxing match receive so much praise ever in my entire life. Like never, 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 never. They almost don't mention that Tyson Fury was even there. Tyson Fury was somehow like tangential, like peripheral to this entire event, as if this somehow happened without Tyson Fury being there, And if they do mention it, they do mention that there appeared to be an extra, in the fourth round knockdown where Wilder knocked down Fury twice in one round, that it seemed that the referee gave Fury an extra long count. He gave him 2 extra seconds to give up. It's not true. It's bullshit. But this is the amount of coping, the amount of disbelief throughout YouTube in the boxing world that this is that for the third time this happened. This is unreal. And this is the only time it happened. There was about a month ago, there was another fight between a white guy and a black guy. The white guy being a guy from the Ukraine named Alexander Usyk. And he fought a British heavyweight named Anthony Joshua. And there was not quite the same result, but effectively the same result. The bold white guy beat the crap out of the chiseled, heavyweight champion to be black dude. And like the boxing world, the narrative that bold white guys are kicking the shit out of fucking jacked black dudes, they cannot deal with this reality. They cannot adapt to the change. And this, I think, is hilarious. This is good for me. This is, I mean, it's annoying. Like I said, as I select through all this commentary, trying to find honest commentary, but it's tough to do, right? Best to just watch the fight highlights and enjoy that, because there won't be any honest commentary about this fight for decades, like decades. You know what I mean? Like really, like decades. None of the commentators can stop licking Deontay Wilder's balls, and he's the fucking loser. Like you have never, literally, this period in boxing will look back and it will say, like, here's how many minutes of commentary there were. Here's how many minutes were praising Wilder, and Wilder was the fucking loser. Yeah, it's it's absolutely unique. But the failure to adapt to change indicates who's really losing. They're losing terribly badly. Change is happening, but not in a way that people expect. And if you believe what everyone's saying, you're not gonna catch this. Okay, so what do we got? Blah 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 blah. A bunch of stuff. Christ. Yeah, the other thing about Virginia Beach right now, October, November, big deer season. I'm terrified of hitting fucking deer. So everything was going good on the way down to Virginia Beach. On the way back in Delaware, fucking deer. I'm in the left lane doing like 70, going on the road's like 65 mile an hour highway. It's a fucking deer laying in the middle of the fucking road, just lying down in the middle of the road. I'm like, I don't know how many, like maybe an hour and a half from home, right? So it's like 11 hours I'm driving. I thought it was a dead deer. I didn't even think it was a live deer. I'm driving straight towards it. And I drive a little Toyota. I don't drive a big fucking vehicle. I've hit deer in the past. And I'm like, fuck. I was like, oh shit, just go around the carcass. So I moved to the left, and then I realized this thing picks its fucking head up and looks at me. And I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? I whizzed past it like fast enough so it didn't get up and jump in front of me. But it's like, these fucking animals are so stupid. And this is what terrifies me. What terrifies me is stupid shit that's outside my control that happens too fast for me to fucking react to. And I realize that's maybe a unique circumstance to people who are like to do the kind of work I do, but fuck, man, that's there's nothing I can do to manage that. There's nothing I can do to make that better other than to try to fucking drink like more coffee and keep my fucking eyes even popped wide, more open, even though I'm driving a ridiculous number of miles at night in fucking roads I'm not super familiar with and dealing with, again, circumstances that are outside my control. Anyway, hopefully you don't have to deal with stuff like that, but even if something like that does happen and you could say it's unfair and it's wrong and it's bad luck and whatever, you have to try to recover as fast as you can. That's critical. It's super critical because the age of people having sympathy for you, of people, feeling badly for you when things go wrong, that is closing so fucking quickly. You really, really, really need to fucking fix your own problems faster, because you're just going to lose more if you sit around. All right. What's going on? So there was some funny stuff too. Like, what's the name? There's a subscriber to the show who took an online religious test. Judas Flychai, welcome to the show. I saw you on Norvin's stream the other night. Hopefully you enjoyed that. What's his name? OB wigging out. I was at Norvin Hobbs. Everybody, I've debated Norvin. I'm kind of friends with Norvin. You're eating carne asada nachos. That sounds like steak nachos. That sounds actually pretty good, Judas Flychai. Got to tell you. I'm guessing, though, Mr. Flychai, you did not cook them yourself. You had them delivered. That would be my guess. That'd be some kind of DoorDash thing. But still, carne asada nachos sounds pretty good. Tweety Bird, good night. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you stopping by. Okay, so Judas Flychai's here. He remembers you were on the Norvin stream from a couple of days ago. When I came on, I was driving back from, was it last week? I was driving back from Virginia, and fucking Ovi's fucking waking out. Like, you know what I mean? He's just fucking losing his mind. The coolest thing, though, about Norvin's show is that Wheel of Fortune thing he has. Like, I don't have the tech to fucking do that. This is a 400-year-old laptop. But there's like a Wheel of Fortune thing where you click a tab and a menu opens up, and you can fill in all of the topics you want to talk about. And then a graphic like the Wheel of Fortune wheel appears, and it spins and then it stops, and then it picks a topic, and you can you talk about the topic. But what was funny about that is there was like 4 or 5 people on that stream. when I jumped in, and everybody was tired of fucking OB shit. Like everybody was tired of fucking OB shit. Like they could not fucking deal with his bullshit. But that was pretty funny. Although at the end, when it got very Bitcoiny, I had people like wigging out and asking me like, "Why don't you own a house? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" Very strange. People are losing their minds, and they're going to continue to lose their minds. So you need to stay cool when other people go to shit. However, like I was saying just before Judas showed up, there's someone else I know who took an online religious test, which was pretty funny because it's they're Orthodox Catholic, and the test shows how blank you are. Like, so it said like how they were only 72% Orthodox Catholic, which is, how is that possible? Because it's the only religion they ever practiced. But it's like you're 72% Orthodox Catholic, you are 10% Episcopalian or something like that or whatever. And but there was of all these metrics that, depending on how you answer the questions, one of the metrics was that they were 90% anti-Semitic. And it was like 90% only 90% anti-Semitic. Like what? And I'm like, those are rookie numbers. Like, listen to me. 90% anti-Semitic is the floor to get onto this fucking show. Like if you are not at least 90% anti-Semitic, what are you even doing here? You know what I mean? So 90% anti-Semitic, like I said, is rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up, or else we can't be friends. But I thought that was pretty funny. I have no idea how any of that stuff is measured. Like I have no idea how that's measured, but I thought that was pretty funny. What do I got? Well, I got like a 2,000 screen shares, other than Black guy getting knocked out. This was something I mentioned a while ago. Okay, that America has lost its dominance, its technological dominance, to China, in the sense that the Taiwan Semiconductor Corporation makes all the computer chips for everything, all the Predator drones, nuclear submarines, everything, the tanks we use, everything that the military that has a computer chip in it is made in Taiwan. Well, Intel, if you look at this, very recently, it's a tweet by a guy named Dan Collins. It says, "Here we are, the U.S.'s largest chip maker, looking for government money, tax money, to make chips. They just authorized a $100 billion with the B, $100 billion stock buyback in June of 2021. That's June of this year. Finance capitalism and money printing has killed the real economy." And below that, there's a quote of a tweet from Intel, the corporation itself. It says, "Fundamentally, the solution is that we need to make more chips, and we need to make more chips in America, which is why the House, meaning the House of Representatives, cannot pass the hashtag CHIPS Act fast enough, as far as I'm concerned." So there it is. There's an American corporation, which in the 1990s was the premier chip maker on the planet Earth. They realized it was a lot easier to make a lot more money faster by just buying back their own stock, which they've done for decades. And that's what they do. Their stock price has been pumped up by free money from the Federal Reserve, which they use to buy their own stock back, to pump up the stock price, and then cash out their stock options. Meanwhile, China makes the chips for everything, not just your smartphones, not just your laptops, everything the Army uses, the Navy, the Air Force uses, the Space Force uses. All of that shit is made in Taiwan, all of it. And now Intel, after wasting $100 billion pumping up their own stock, they don't say, "Hey, we need to, change our ways." They just decide, give us money from the taxpayer so we can build a new plant to make new cutting edge chips and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I've mentioned this a few times before, but there it is. All of these fuck up companies, all of these CEOs, all of these board of directors people have lined their pockets while letting America lose its market share, its global leadership, its military dominance, to lose all of that, to line their fucking pockets. And then when we finally realize that it's, the 11th fucking hour and we got to catch up, they're not going to reach in their pocket to say, hey, we got to dig deep, and do the right thing and rebuild this industry. They're just going to say, no, taxpayer, give us however many billions we want to rebuild the industry our own industry that we fucked over ourselves. You pay us to rebuild it to the same standard that the Chinese have. This is this is only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Juice like chai. I put tapito on my nachos. I'm not sure what that is. What is that? Hot sauce? Is that some kind of hot sauce, Juice like chai? I don't know. I am unfamiliar. But here's the thing about like all these fake right wingers, and there's tons of them. You know what I mean? Everybody everyone on the internet that pretends to be a right winger is full shit, because you can make them hike up their skirts and run in the opposite direction. As soon as you start talking about economics, as soon as you start talking about money, they just fucking run. Because right wing means I read a book this fucking thick, right? By some guy in Europe who never had a job and who never solved the problem. And he decided, in his 30s or whatever age he was, that he was going to like fix the entire world after, from his dreaming couch in whatever castle or fucking mansion he lived in, But if you talk to any right-wing person and you say like, okay, you want me to do X, Y, and Z? Like, okay, how much are you going to pay me? And they just run because they're pussies. They're pussies. They're pussies. They're 100% fucking pussies. You have like I've said this before, you have no idea how shit works, what goes wrong, how to fix it, how to improve things. You have no fucking idea. And the expectation that you're going to pay someone a fair amount to do a specific task, those are forbidden subjects. You know what I mean? In the same way that talking about crime rates are forbidden among left wingers, what the crime rates are, who does the crime, what, who gets addicted to drugs, and, what the solutions are. You're not allowed to answer. These are all questions that are responded to on the left by doctrine, right? The answer is always white racism or colonialism or whatever the fuck it is. And on the fucking right, as soon as somebody says, okay, Mr. Right Wing dude, how much are you going to pay me to go to do this complex task? They go, oh, what are you, a communist? Like, what are you, fucking collectivist, communist motherfucker? Wanting to be paid to do work? Yeah, well, that's how the world fucking works, Chuckles. So all the right wingers are full of shit. They're not going to win anything. They're going to lose as much as the communists are going to lose. You're both going to lose because, like I said, what's coming, the way Bitcoin is going to redefine the world, it's going to look a little bit like democracy. It's going to look a little bit like communism. It's going to be at least as harsh as any authoritarian regime you've seen, and in ways, but just in ways that you can't imagine. And the reason why you can't imagine is because you keep looking back 200 fucking years, expecting that to be the next 25 years. You're not living in reality. You know what I mean? And you can afford that right now, but it's going to be the price of that's going to be higher and higher and higher. Much higher as the days go on, as time goes on. And if you're not prepared for it, well, what do we got here? What is this one? I sent myself so much stuff. I'm like okay, here, this is maybe the most succinct of a lot of different ones, but this is what's really happening in the economy, not what not what you're seeing on CNBC, not what they're telling you on television. Where is it? Is it up there yet? There you go. The U.S. Federal Reserve, with its money printing, has destroyed the buying power of the U.S. dollar. You know what I mean? And when they're done, they're going to blame it on Bitcoin. They're already blaming it on Bitcoin. But this is the type of gaslighting they're going to engage in now, and there are going to be different versions of this coming because the Fed has not adapted to the change of value from the U.S. dollar to Bitcoin. They haven't adapted to the change, and to be quite honest, they're not going to adapt to the change. So that's both good and bad. You know, it's good in that it gives you more time to accumulate Bitcoin relatively cheap, but it's bad because it means there's going to be a lot of civil unrest coming, and it's going to hurt a lot of people who really don't need to be hurt. You know, and there's nothing you can do about that. You know, I try to talk to people. I was talking about like Ziggy the Pollock. Not that the other day, I bought a new headset, like a fucking super duper, like $150 Bluetooth fucking headset, because I'm holding the phone to my ear, and you can't be doing that in different states. It's going to cost me money. We're going to get a ticket. So pony up the money for a fucking good headset. And so I was talking with Ziggy the Pollock to test the headset out. And he's like, yeah, wait till they regulate Bitcoin. And he's like a boomer and he's a boomer and a Pollock. And I'm like, do you remember how well it worked? Do you remember when the U.S. government outlawed alcohol, the 23rd Amendment, prohibition? Do you remember how well that worked? And no one ever had another drink ever again. No one ever drank alcohol in America ever again. Do you remember how well that worked out? Do you remember how many decades America had the war on drugs, the war on pot? Thank God there's no legal dispensaries out there right now, right? So you give it a shot. You give it your best shot. You can believe that the government has in its magic bag of fucking tools something that can deal with Bitcoin. You believe that. You believe that with all your heart and soul. And as the change happens around you and you fail to adapt to it, you lose more and more and more and more and more and more. Like I said, this time last year, Bitcoin was $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 or so. It's about 62,000 this year. What's next year going to look like? It went up 400% in 1 year. If we stay at this pace, that means this time next year, $250,000 Bitcoin or higher. You know, and if you're sitting there thinking it's a bubble, it's this, it's that, or you know, whatever your list of excuses is, I have to tell you, it's not going to work out for you. You know what I mean? In the sense that even your own excuses won't comfort you. They're not going to comfort you. When it's super obvious that this is the future and nothing can stop it, your own bullshit story is not going to help you. You know what I mean? When what's his name? Bill Clinton was president, they're like, oh no, he's a new kind of Democrat. He's a change agent. And that didn't work out. Then it was 9/11 and Bush, whatever. But then there was Obama, and they're like, oh, he's so different. He's black. He's gay. He's a Muslim. America's going to be so different. And nothing fucking changed, right? And then there was Trump. Oh, he's Trump. He's a businessman. Like nobody. Now we're at Biden. Does anybody fucking believe there's going to be a change agent? Does anybody believe that there's going to be a change that improves shit? Really? Do you believe that? Nobody believes that, right? So that's why when I say that Bitcoiners and the rest of us and the rest of you are different, if you're not a Bitcoiner, you are on the wrong end of this. You're going to be losing, right? What I'm sharing right now is a tweet from this guy, Bitcoin Deadpool. He's apprenticing himself for free to a butcher. And he says, once I'm trained up as a butcher, it would be a dream to apprentice another Bitcoiner who wants to learn the trade. Experience with hunting would help a ton. Trimming tri-tips with my bro for hours definitely helped me develop my skill with a knife. And then this guy responds to him. He says, where are you geographically? I cut fish for 8 years. I would enjoy this. So Bitcoin people are the type of people who work in a fish factory for 8 years. They cut, or fish factory, or fish market. Think about being on your feet, cutting fish, icy cold, whatever, for 8 years, right? It's not something you're ashamed of. This is what this guy did. And he's thinking, hey, you know what? I got some skills with a knife. Cut a fish, I can cut a pig. Cut a fish, I can cut a cow or whatever. A chicken, whatever. When I tell you that Bitcoiners and you, we're not the same, we are not the fucking same. If you think in the future you can make a living out of saying, well, the Jews suck, and by the way, Otto Spengler recommends you do X, Y, and Z, no one's going to listen to you. If you think that book that you read, that's thick as an encyclopedia, that solves no fucking real world problems. If you think that's going to help you in the future, you don't know what the real future is going to be like. Okay. Real world skills, because being a butcher, right? I don't care. You may look down your nose at it. You look down your nose at it right up until your stomach fucking growls and you want to eat something, right? And as soon as you want to eat something, all of a sudden that butcher becomes your best friend in God's green earth. So when I tell you we're built different, we are built different. And the future will be built different. Okay? And if most of your ideas, as I've said, you ideologues, your ideology is shit. Your fucking politics is shit. Your understanding of the world is shit. It's just not going to work. It isn't going to work. And you're going to find that out the hard way. You're going to find that out really, really, really the hard way. So, I suggest you get smarter faster. But, there's not much. Is this is my other one. Yeah, here we go. This is the best. This is the fucking absolute best one. When you want to talk about like, who are they coming after and why do we not fucking care, right? This guy, I think this guy is Mike Alfred. He's some kind of fucking fad, shabos, goy, fucking faggot. 2 minutes after he fucking posted this, they started going after him, hammer and tongs. So let's make this just a touch. Larger. My friend Logscale. Logscale runs some of the best spaces in Bitcoin, but has been subject to a vicious harassment campaign led by a cabal of toxic maximalists, white supremacists, and anti-Semites. Yeah, that's us. That's Bitcoin, right? If you think that this stupid fucking name calling is going to stop us, literally, you just painted a target on your own fucking back, and we are not going to stop until we fucking destroy you. You got to remember, Elon Musk used to he mocked Bitcoin when it dropped from 64 to $28,000, and we went after him hammer and fucking tongue. And Elon Musk does not fucking tweet about Bitcoin at all anymore. That motherfucker shut up. We shut up the third richest man on the planet Earth. You have no fucking idea who you're fucking with. The fact that we can't actually physically reach through the fucking screen and bash your head against the fucking ground is your good luck. And that's illegal anyway. But you don't know what you're up against. This fucking bullshit, tone policing, fucking Jewing. This is literally, we pray for this. We fucking, like we wait for this. We're just waiting to fucking attack you. Like you are as dumb as the day is long if you think this is going to convince anybody. Because anyone that's interested in Bitcoin is interested in saving their wealth, their labor, their goods, their services in a currency that the government cannot take from them or inflate away from them. The people who understand this, the people who will grasp it most quickly, are the smartest people. That your labor or your goods or your services are being devalued by the government, and you can store the value of what you do or what you produce in something alternative to the US dollar. And once you figure that out, well, you know what I mean? That's a one-way street. You never go back. It changes you. So for everyone who, like that your man Rick, Holly the cook, and a few others who started trading their lousy, weakening Zog bucks for good, strengthening Bitcoin, everybody's happy. They're all happy. They're all more secure. Their futures are brighter. They have more opportunities and more security than they did a year ago. Okay. And as more people figure that out and make the same choices that those people made, it's only going to get better. So you think by tone policing and saying, oh, it's drug dealer money, it's terrorist money, oh, it's magic internet money, oh, it's a tulip bubble, oh, it's whatever the next thing was. It's the currency of the alt-right. Whatever it boils the oceans. That was the last one. It's what's it? ESG, environmentally sound governance. Oh, it boils the oceans. Listen, you have all of these standard communist fucking talking points, which they use to keep people in line, only work if people do not perceive that it's easy and safe to cross that line. And once people realize that Bitcoin is easy and safe and it works, well, they're going to be dumping their Zog bucks faster than you can say that be racist. And I just encourage people to do it now while it's still in your favor. Like right now, let me look real quick. How many Satoshis you can? Bitcoin right now is $61,880. It's October 18th at 11:05 Eastern Standard Time. So we're hovering just underneath 62K. The previous all-time high, $64,840. So once Bitcoin goes up above $65,000, where there's nothing but blue sky above us. It's like it's going to be nothing but blue sky. And that's going to be really exciting. And we're right there. We're at 61, 62. We're like hovering just underneath that all-time high. Once we crack that all-time high, it's going to be crazy. It's very exciting. Because you never know how far it's going to go. Like I was in Bitcoin when it hit $20,000, I didn't time it right. I sold it like after it passed its peak and dropped down to like 14. But the 2017 high was $20,000. Then it dropped to $3,000 and went sideways for 3 years until it passed $20,000 again. That was December of last year. And once it cracked the previous all-time high, it went from 20 to 64. And right now we're right underneath the all-time high of 64,840. We're just underneath it. As soon as we break through this, as soon as we break through 65, man, it's going to be off to the fucking races. It's going to be crazy to see how far and how fast it goes. Because the first time to go from all-time high to break to a new all-time high was 3 years. This time to go from 64,000, the previous all-time high, to the current 65,000, it's about 5 months or 6 months. It's a whole lot shorter time frame. So what does that mean? Will we go higher? Will we go lower? I don't know. Nobody knows what it is. It's all really, it's all new to everyone. Everybody's model is broken. So absolutely stay tuned. Stay tuned. Watch this thing suck all the oxygen out of the room. Watch it change the world. I suggest you come along with us, and you're invited. Everybody's fucking invited. Everybody's invited. But if you don't want to join in, well, best of luck to you. Like, really best of luck to you. Anyway, it is, 11 o'clock here. I'm trying to keep these shorter because the shorter ones everybody watches more, even though the only viewer I have right now is Judas Fly Chai, if Google is telling me the truth. I will. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, I got to remember to do this. Almost. So you have to put this banner up to remind people to subscribe, to smash up the like button. Smash up that like button. It only takes a second. You've been here all this whole time. Smash up that like button. It pisses off Google. It pisses off a lot of people. The bug men at the fucking NSA. They will, if this stream gets 8 likes, they will delete. It's 5 of them or 6 of them. It's hilarious. How pathetic they are. But as much as they hurt me last year, I'm back. As strong as I can come back. And some of them, depending on what they saw when they were rummaging around inside my fucking Gemini account, they may have done the math of how much more Bitcoin I have than I used to have. But they did not stop me. They did not fucking beat me. I'm not what I should be, but you know what? I'm not fucking wiped out neither. So anyway, Judas Fly Chai, Tweety Bird, everybody who's going to watch this later on, because I know it's Monday night. I know everybody's going to work. But like I said, the Virginia Beach thing, that was a long job. I didn't get home till 2 in the morning. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching. Remember, smash up the like button, hit subscribe, share this with your friends. Everyone needs to see me be like a semi-alcoholic. Well, I'm not really that much of an alcoholic, but a little bit of an alcoholic. Things are going to get better for us. If you are on the side of the Bitcoin, if you have Bitcoin, things are going to get better for you. Period. End of story. It's been true in the last year. It will be true in the next year. It's been true over time. Exit the Zog controlled system. Get out before the Holocaust, because Bitcoin is going to burn everything. It's going to burn stocks and bonds and real estate and everything. You might think that that's a bold statement, but I'm going to remind you, a year ago, Bitcoin was 10.7. Right now, it's 61.8. You know, try to expand your mind and think forward. Is the government going to become less corrupt? Is the Federal Reserve going to print less money? Is the government going to become more responsible with your money? Like, is any of that ever going to happen? Do you really believe that? And if you have a choice, and right now, today, you have a choice to begin to exit that system, wouldn't you take it? Why would you stay in a game that's rigged against you that you're guaranteed to lose? That's the premise of this. I'm losing my voice. I can't believe that the pollen's supposed to go down on it. The pollen is killing me. Ragweed is like murder. I don't know what the future looks like, but if we can have robots with laser eyeballs destroy ragweed, that would be fucking great. I just gained the second viewer. Who's that? Now we got a second viewer. You need to understand this. Like the case that I make, is that the money touches everything and controls most things. The money that we use globally, the global reserve currency, is the Federal Reserve note, and it's controlled by the small hats. So they're not for you. They don't care if you live or die. They're going to squeeze as much value as they can out of you before you exit this earth. And you don't want to live that way. You don't want to live as a slave to them. So there's a choice now. There's a choice that was not available in the previous 100 years. And I suggest you make it. I hope you do. If you do, great. Come on. This is going to be a great fucking ride. If not, well, have fun staying poor. All right, we're back down to one viewer. It's just my loyal, super loyal friend who I've never met in real life. But Judas Fly Chai, the carne asada nachos dude, you're making me think about the food I got in the next room. I have some, what is it? It's not halal. It is haram. I have some roasted pork in the next room. That is haram. Haram for you, Judas Fly Chai, but not haram for me. The goy of goys, the super goy. Anyway, now, how do I get 3 viewers? How do I get 3 viewers? Like, over 1 viewer to 3 viewers. I'm like, all right, okay, good night, everybody. Oh, fuck, the viewer count went up. Like, the viewer count goes up, and I'm like, no, keep going. Now it's like we're up here. For me, there's a counter up here that says like 1 minute 21 and whatever. And now I'm like, wait a minute, I got 3 viewers. I can't bail. Now I got 1 fucking viewer. Motherfuckers, they left me. This is torture. This is torture. It's absolute torture. I'm gonna bail. I'm gonna bail because they're too fickle. These people that show up, they could be bots anyway. They could be whatever, NSA bots or YouTube bots or whatever. The people who control the money hate you and want you dead. They want you broke and dead. They want your children raped and brainwashed, and they think it's funny. So here's an idea. Thank you, Judas Fly Chai. Here's an idea. Exit their system. Go to a fairer, more honest system where who you are and what you do is more fairly valued. That is what I hope to convince people to do. And if I've convinced you, great. If not, I'll come back next week and I'll try again. All right. So Judas Fly Chai, enjoy and I'm sure carne asada nachos is banging. Now you're making me think I want nachos. Judas Fly Chai putting nachos in my fucking head. You're a very influential man, Mr. Fly Chai. Okay. We're going to bail at 90 minutes, before 90 minutes. Thanks a lot for everybody showing up. Thank you, everybody who's watching this in the replay. Thanks for watching. Smash up that like button. Remember, YouTube hates that. The NSA hates that. you want to give a big FU to the government, smash up the like button and share this with your friends whomever wants to see a guy sit and drink ouzo on YouTube's. Anyway, good night, everybody. Good night, Judith Fly Chai, Tweety Bird, and like I said, everybody else is going to show up in the future. Watch the rerun, and I'll talk to you guys later.